Good afternoon. My name is Denise Appleby, and I'm here with Howard Jackson, President of the Atlanta chapter of the Morant Bay High School Association. Howard, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you, Denise?
Fantastic. I'm doing great. We're trying to get some background information on the association. So tell us about the Atlanta chapter. When was it created? What is its mission?
Okay, well, the chapter started in it started in 2011, which is 9 years, a little bit over 9 years ago. And the way it got started was some conversations between some of our more, what should I say, established alumni, people who have been in the community for a while, most notably Michael McNeil and Robert Ritchie. Started having some discussions about starting a chapter in Atlanta. Robert had already been involved with the New York chapter in its early years. And that discussion led to some talks with Charles Murray from the New York chapter, and then Michael finding some people local to the greater Atlanta area, I guess you could say. And in the summer of 2011, the first meeting was held. So we're actually in our 10th year of existence now. And over those years, the chapter has tried to focus on, like most alumni chapters, trying to give the students, the current students of the school, and to some extent students who are past students as well, opportunities that maybe they didn't have or they wouldn't have had from their parents or from their community. Just trying to help them to be able to get the best exposure they can and to be the best they can be, and to learn about careers that they may not have heard of, things like that. So there's mentorship, there's financial assistance, and there's just forming the community of alumni from a more social perspective. And it's really done quite a bit of that over the nine plus years. Most notably, in the first few years, the big project was a purchase of a commercial stove or industrial stove for the home economics department. But what you could call the flagship project has been the scholarship program, which started with one student in 2014 and has grown to now somewhere between, depending on the year, 12 to 14 students that are given each year a stipend to cover their school fees as well as some of their incidentals. And that's really gone well. It's been a popular program. We've had supporters from within the chapter and from the wider Morant Bay community, not just alumni, and we've been really appreciative of that.
That is excellent, because I think everybody knows that there are many scientists, doctors, etc., that wouldn't have achieved those goals without scholarships because they didn't have the funds. So that's great. So it sounds like a lot has been accomplished since the 9 years that the organization has been in existence. Scholarships, the stove. Now tell me, you just became president in September of last year. Tell me some of what you have accomplished so far during your tenure, and what you hope to accomplish before your tenure ends.
Okay, well, I was involved with the Atlanta chapter a few years before I became president last year, in mostly in the capacity as a Florida representative. There are a few of us, including myself, who are based in Florida that are part of the chapter. But when I was actually take over the role, my passion is technology and using technology to improve systems and processes and people. So my projects, to some extent, or my vision has been geared around that. But I'd start first with the scholarship program, which already exists. One of the things we decided we wanted to do was to strengthen the program to make it even better than it is now. And primarily, we would do that by not just stopping at fifth form with the students, as we do now, but take them into sixth form, not just help them with financial assistance, but also help to prepare them for the next step in their life, whether that's college or the working world, learning about careers, that kind of thing. So that's part of one of my goals, is to build on what the scholarship program already is. But other than that, as mentioned with technology, having visited the school over the years, and most recently earlier this year, it's clear that there's a need for a lot more in terms of infrastructure, specifically in terms of technological infrastructure. And one of the areas we saw a really pressing need is the library. Their systems of keeping archives and historical information had been still is mostly paper-based. But one of the things we did pretty early was to purchase some licenses so they could go into the online Gleaner archives, which is a pretty extensive archive. The Gleaner is a few hundred years old, and it allows both teachers and students to have a source of research material that they really just didn't have before. And it's not like they have to use up space, which is the library and the school struggles with space just generally. This is an online system. It will be updated as Gleaner puts out releases every day. So that's been a very popular thing that we've done. But we want to go further than that. One other thing is the laptop. We've been working with a graduating class of '84, which I'm a part, and some laptops have been purchased, not quite delivered yet because the pandemic complicated things, but we plan to deliver those laptops to the school within this academic year. Thirdly, there is the one that we didn't plan for, which is the pandemic and trying to respond to the pandemic. Earlier this year, when it just became apparent that school as normal couldn't be held, we helped some students to purchase data plans so they could participate in online programs and online groups, because a lot of them don't have Wi-Fi at home and they have to use the phone company's data plans. But that was just a start. Going into this year, and with the pandemic still raging and in some respects has got even more critical, we're looking at helping the school with some equipment so they can, which will allow them to enhance the delivery of online content, whether it's through the classes or through material that will be recorded and uploaded. So there's a few different areas that we're working in, but I would say my core is around using technology better, helping the school, whether it's through internet access, whether it's through equipment. In some cases, it might even be training of equipment that's already there, that kind of thing. But that's where, especially with the pandemic, it's very obvious that we really need a robust technology system in most schools to be able to deliver classes as best as can be done during this time.
So it sounds like whether by design or not, you were thrust into this new distance learning program, and you're helping the school to tread those waters. That's excellent. Now I know all of that. Distance learning, laptop programs, scholarships, cost a lot of money. How do you get funds?
Yes, so the chapter has always been looking, like most nonprofits, to raise funds to help with existing as well as new programs. Traditionally, the scholarship program specifically has been funded partly through just regular donations, but the annual Atlanta dinner dance, which is usually around this time of the year, is the big fundraiser that's used to fund the scholarship program. Of course, with COVID, that didn't happen this year. And our secondary event, which has been for the last 5 or 6 years, the Florida weekend, of which I've been a part from the start of it, that also COVID affected our plans to hold that. So it's been one of those years where we had expected a certain amount of income to come in from those events. It didn't happen, but the needs are still there. The needs are more because we have to deal with the pandemic. And so we're not just sitting down and saying this is a dead year. We're working towards raising funds. One way we're doing that is through a fundraising drive, which is going on right now. We're contacting the people who have supported us over the years, as well as some new entities and persons to explain what we've done and why without the events we need their assistance. But we just don't want to be asking for money. We figure there are other ways we can raise funds. And this year, for the first time, we're trying to get into a little bit of the merchandising business. And with the partnership of the school, they've supplied us with some of the masks, which is the MBHS branded mask, which students will be using when they get back to school.
Pretty cool. Carpe diem, right?
Exactly. Our Carpe diem motto, as well as the logo on it, and of course the green and white, which are the colors of the school. And we've been selling these. Some of the people watching this probably already have purchased one, but we're going to be replenishing our inventory and selling them. They've been quite popular with the alumni that we've approached, and we expect that to continue. And the more important thing, though, that it's a fundraiser. And when you purchase one of these for 10 US, you're subsidizing 10 kids really who will be able to purchase the same mask for somewhere about 100, 120 Jamaican, which is below cost of the max. So the idea is to help with that, but also to help with like we said, the technology, helping the school purchase some of the technology, the cameras, the media equipment needed to execute online learning.
Pretty impressive. So now we know people can purchase merchandise. For people who have not already made donations or supported any of your merchandising, how can they help?
Well, the easiest way is our website, which is we'll share that with you. It's www.mbhs-ATL-alumni.org, and when you go to our website, there's a few areas where you can donate through the website to our causes. But also you can contact any member of the Atlanta chapter, executive members, or even some of our non-executive members who will be able to put you on to those of us who can give you other means, whether it's sending in a check or paying through PayPal, that kind of thing. We have a few different ways of accepting donations, and we're working on more things like Zelle and Cash App. Aren't quite there yet, but we'll be able to accept donations that way very soon. Before the end of the year is the plans, right?
Wow, color me impressed. Everything sounds great, and the little girl in me who didn't have funds to go to school and wishes someone like you were around at that time says thank you. And on behalf of the many kids that you're helping, thank you, Howard Jackson. This is fantastic. And
well, I like to say it's obviously not one person. It's first of all, it's an effort or an initiative which was before I got involved. I was impressed with what the organization was doing. So even though I was in Florida, I got engaged in the activities and actually started raising funds myself. So obviously it's always about the organization. Individuals are just playing their part, and I'm no different.
That's a mark of a great leader. There's no I in team.
True.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And to everyone else, the website that Howard mentioned is going to be included in the description of this video. So whether you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere else, just look for the link to where you can make donations and contact the organization. Thank you, Howard.
Okay, thanks for having me, Denise, and we'll be talking soon.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.